Dire team pick. Dire team pick.
Alright folks, welcome back to the Steel Series Chicago Dota 2 Open. This is the winner's bracket round 2 game between, God, I forgot what this team's name is. It's not in the Navy, it's like Kittens Are Precious or something like that. But at any rate, that's their name. And they're playing up Harry players, so what you need to know about this team, the Radiant here, is that they are actually the defending champions. So when we held the first of these events in June, this team basically, at least 4 players, I think, are the same from the team that won the June event. So they were able to clean up. They were called Please Gank Shibby then. Maybe they felt that that was too much of a strategic giveaway if they named themselves that. So they've changed names. Now it's TMCP, considered among the people I've talked to be one of the frontrunners for the tournament. I don't know as much about Kitties Are Precious, but I am excited to see them play. So this is Winners Bracket Round 2. Again, the Chicago Steel Series Dota 2 Open. Sponsors are Ignite, Merlini Dota, Steel Series, and Dust Off. You can, I'll enable their logos once we actually get up into the game. We're trying to figure out the co-caster situation. My co-caster Justin is actually at the venue, and the teams could hear him in the last game. So they're trying to sort out what that situation is going to be, just to make sure that, you know, the players aren't getting either undue information to give them an advantage, or being like, oh no, we're getting criticized, and really get psyched out and lose. So there are a couple other people that I'm going to rotate in as well for co-casting later on in the event, so we'll see if we're going to do that or what we're going to set up. But enough about me. Let's. I'm not going to natter on about the casting situation anymore. I will talk about the game. So we're up in the draft. TMCP actually secures a very early VS, so this is honestly, to me, the main interesting feature of this draft. Everything so far is extremely standard, so you've got Batrider, IO on the bans for Kitties, and then the OD as well. This is usually where you see OD banned, honestly, in the second phase, because he's difficult to justify as a first phase pick, but he can be an incredibly strong second phase pick. So frequently you see him drop down to the second phase ban. Bat and IO, of course, the less said about these guys, the better at this point, because they're just extremely, extremely strong. TMCP, meanwhile, taking out the lifesteal and the Naga. Again, this is not a big surprise. Naga, one of the most favored supports these days, just for the power of that net, combined with the excellent damage provided by Riptide, combined with the excellent Song of the Siren, which is just an amazing utility spell in general. And a support who, in the modern high greed play, can really just take over the game later. If you switch over your farm allocation and start to farm up that Naga Siren a bit, suddenly it's a 4 position that can do a tremendous amount of work. For the second phase, we see a lot of support bans, so you can actually see that both teams have targeted quite a bit of support work. The IO has taken out the Nyx, and then the Shadow Demon Bane. Now, this situation favors TMCP because they basically have both of their supports already secure. Unless we see some sort of weirdness with a Carry Venge or a Faux-style Carry Venge or Arsard or ZSMJ High Farm support Venge, probably this is going to be a hard support roll Vengeful Spirit in the 5. And so these 4 support bans really put Kitties on the back foot, in the sense that they sort of have to rely on... I mean, Rubik is a great pickup, honestly, and there's a lot that he can steal here. Familiars, Soul Assumption, Swap, Magic Missile, even Wave of Terror. These are all pretty good steals. Call Down as well. So Rubik is a fine pick. We'll have to see what they take for their second support. They probably don't want to dally too long on picking up that second support choice, as once you reach the second phase, if TMCP apply even more support bans on you, you might end up with something really substandard, like a Veno that you can't build a composition around or something like that. So I do expect them to probably take their second support here. To follow up with this Darkseer Alchemist, Jakiro's available. We didn't see it do that well in the previous game, but the Darkseer Jakiro combo is tremendously potent. When you have Ice Path and Vacuum to get people on the Ice Path, that essentially guarantees a huge unstable concoction. Remember, of course, the concoction has an AoE, and if you vacuum people up into a tight spot, it can be difficult to land the timing unless there's another stun that gives you the requisite time to actually ensure that that unstable concoction hits everybody. And Jakiro can do that. Jakiro Darkseer Alchemist can form a tremendously powerful core that can almost wipe instantly an opposing team without needing to commit to something huge like Enigma, like Tidehunter, like Magnus, where Darkseer Alchemist Jakiro is really not like it's a combo, but it's a combo where every element has no longer than a 24-second cooldown. So it can be very... I would expect Kitties to take the Jakiro here. They don't have to. They have other options. If they want a particular core hero or like a mid, they might be seeking to do that, but we'll have to see what they go with. TMCP, on the other hand, other than the Venge, this is all pretty standard. Vengeful Spirit, a pretty powerful hero. Now that she has that better strength gain, she was buffed to about 2.4 strength gain, where she was at 1.8 before. She's a little more tanky than she once was. She's able to get in there and swap. You can high ground with her. Yeah, so that was the debate. Do we take our second support, or do we secure a mid that we really want? And here, I'm gonna just call them ITN, even though they registered apparently under a Kitties-like name. So ITN secures the Quap. Powerful mid, very hard to outlane. In that middle lane, there's not that many heroes that are just going to really crap on her. And gives a lot of opportunity to generate kills. Even with the better strength gain, VS's tankiness, particularly early, is very low. Visage as well, unless he goes more than one rank of Gravekeeper's Cloak, which is extremely rare until much later. And we even see most Visages at the high levels, at the professional level, skip Gravekeeper's Cloak until pretty late because they really want those ranks of Grave Chill, Soul Assumption. Queen of Pain can take those heroes apart, and even Gyro. Gyro, when you have a Queen of Pain on the board, is going to be forced into rushing BKB, which doesn't help his farm, it only helps his team fight. And so that lets you open up space between your Alchemist farm and their Gyrocopter farm. So I like this Queen of Pain pick. TMCP are going to go with the Razor. This is a hero that's become pretty fashionable in some respects. He is able to give you that additional carry potential. He gives you pretty good push once he has Aghanim Scepter. They have quite a good high grounding lineup, I would say, actually. If they manage to get ahead and the Razor picks up Ags, they can just send the Razor up. If he sees anybody, they can swap them down with the Vengeful Spirit, especially if her levels have been pretty good. So I think it'll give them a lot of potential. The Razor, the laning is going to be somewhat interesting. This Razor versus Queen of Pain, if they decide to run the mid-Razor, is... I don't expect him to get any kills, but I do expect him to be able to farm okay. I don't think it's a lane that Quap will really just crap over. I think Razor should probably be fine. But the downside is Static Link will be very hard to land and stick. Eventually, Static Link will be quite effective against Alchemist, and it frees them up from having to pick something like a Bane, which they already banned. But yeah, this is the downside, in my opinion, of Kitties deciding to take that Queen of Pain, is the Jakiro is gone, and I really feel that the Jakiro would have gelled with their lineup extremely well. Instead, they actually decide to go with the Lina. So this is a high damage decision. They want to put a tremendous amount of pressure. Rubik Stun into Lina Stun can provide quite a combo. And Darkseer Vac into something like you Light Strike Array, a couple of people, you Unstable Concoction, a couple of people, can still be a fine combo. TMCP, meanwhile, they do go with Puck. So what this makes it look like to me is probably an aggressive tri-lane with solo safe Razor and then the Puck mid. I really need to make sure that I turn off this ESWC HUD. It's actually really good looking, but it messes with the overlay elements of our sponsors. Nonetheless, an interesting lineup for TMCP. They go with the Puck. We saw some absolutely amazing plays from Shibby on the Puck in the last tournament. We'll have to see if he's able to reprise them here as they seek to make it two Ignite championships that they've secured. So, let's look up towards Kitties, or ITN first. He's currently going for possibly a First Blood on the bottom if they can get one. KRP on this Carry Alchemist. Pretty standard loadout over here. Frosty Bear supports him on the Lina, and Skeptic on the Rubik will form the other core of this tri-lane. Live reruns will be on the Queen of Pain going up towards the middle against the Puck in all likelihood, and that leaves Doze on the solo lane Darkseer. To clarity, this Darkseer could rotate into a jungle capacity. He could be solo hard lane, he could be solo safe lane. We'll have to see how they end up laning that. Looking up towards what was once Please Gank Shibby, now too many carry players, TMCP. We've got Hackle Shots on the Visage. I believe he was supporting last time too. So this team has been, honestly, really, really, really stable. 4 out of 5 players are the same. It looks like they're basically playing the same roles, and we'll have to see if they've refined their game even more from what they were last time. So Hackle Shots on the Visage, MQV on the Vengeful Spirit, and Barbara Leo will be filling out the tri-lane on the Razor. Shibby on the Puck mid. He was really able to dominate all of his mid matchups last time. We'll see what happens this time. And for my queen, who was on the 1 roll last time as well, is still on the 1 roll. Now with a bit of pooled regen, 1 set of tangos pooled to him. Solo safe Gyro will be his role. So we'll have a 1 versus 1 matchup here. Darkseer versus Gyro, I expect both of them to be pretty safe. There's really no way of for Gyro to solo down the Darkseer easily here. There's also really no way that Darkseer is going to be able to dominate this lane either. He could go to cut creeps, but I don't expect him to. Might just be a solid 1v1 matchup where both players are able to find farm. And in that respect, I have to say, TMCP's lineup definitely a little bit greedier. Venge can take a little bit of farm. Razor obviously wants quite a bit. Puck wants his key items. Arcane Boots blink, and then even Sheepstick if you can get it. Actually going to push the lane a little bit, doubling up on these 2 ranged creeps. So even though he's winning the lane right now, 5-0 to 3-0, this lane's going to push right into live reruns, and the Queen of Pain will be able to do just fine in this lane, I believe. So Puck Quap, the mid matchup. This is a pretty classic matchup. Puck is considered a pretty good choice against Queen of Pain simply because that AoE stun is, the AoE silence is so strong against her. Essentially, when you're up against Puck as a Queen of Pain, you find yourself in the position of needing to go BKB earlier than you might otherwise like. So that reduces your damage output, since of course you're not going damage items, you're going that BKB. That said, if the Queen of Pain has an amazing early game, if he finds a lot of ganks, you can try to race the Puck with something like an Orchid. And then if Queen of Pain gets Orchid, she can sometimes turn that matchup without even needing to go the BKB. That said, it's going to be tough to beat out Shippy. He's already 10 for 1. I would expect live reruns to go pretty early BKB in this game. So just looking at the early laning, Gyro pretty happy with his farm, but Darkseer doing just fine here as well. Puck already opening up a bit of a lead, and the real story is here in the tri-lane. So the thing about Alchemist is you really do want to be able to do well early. He's actually, is he hoarding a point? Yeah, he's hoarding a point. Hasn't decided whether he wants to go that spray, the I'm in a really hard lane 3v3 lane acid spray, or if he wants to take Grievel's Greed, the I'm in a pretty decent lane where I can get consistent farm. So far, Alchemist has only been able to find 2 last hits to the 8-3 of Barber-Leo on the Razor. So this is somewhat problematic for KRP. He is really the only sustained damage source on his team. And actually, the static link will chase him completely off lane. Most ticks of it coming through there. 35 extra damage picked up for Barber-Leo on the Razor. And yeah, I think this is going to be an acid spray lane, honestly. He's not going to be holding that lane at that point for much longer. He's going to have to decide to probably spray. There's the telekinesis. Will they try to follow up? The Light Strike Ray misses. It actually lands on Hackle Shots, so, you know, a half measure. But Soul Assumption brings Skeptic extremely low. The acid spray is on the ground. Frosty Baron under a lot of trouble. One more last hit from Razor will do the trick. But will Barber-Leo pay for this? The acid spray still ticking down. Razor makes it out. KRP safe under his tower as well. But that's a first blood, and it's a first blood picked up by the Razor, who's out-farming the Alchemist. And already TMCP securing a little bit of an advantage in this laning phase. If you can draw or win your 2 main lanes and your 2 solo lanes, and then win the tri-lane as much as they are, you feel very comfortable. You feel like you're very solid going into the later stages of the game. And so far, with Alchemist unable to secure any farm, pressured into going this no farm build where you just go the spray and the unstable concoction, it's strong in some respects. For my Queen and Doze, meanwhile, doing a bit of a duel, but every hit of the Rocket Barrage will land. And Doze, I think he thought maybe he could get more done there, but unfortunately the Iron Shell just didn't tick for enough damage to really hurt Forma Queen. Sage's Mask, I guess this is probably Basilius for him, so Doze actually may, honestly, yeah, he's going to salve and come back, but that didn't go the way we wanted at all. Meanwhile, a lot of action on the top. KRP chased off the lane. There's the Soul Assumption. It's not level 2 just yet, so without that level 2 Soul Assumption, that didn't quite happen. And yeah, Razor versus Alchemist. We've only seen the matchup 10 times. Razor is more commonly considered a counter to Lifestealer and Outworld Devourer. But here, again, because ITN really only deliver any sort of physical damage through the Alchemist, being able to get a long static link on a hero who really can't kite Razor is going to be tremendously effective. And so we already see that matchup slightly tilted in favor of the Razor. I think, oh my god, he's boxed in! He can't get... KRP is completely trapped by the creeps. He's actually going to take a lot more damage than he wants to. The only question is, if you're TMCP, can you actually do anything about this? I don't think you can, because Shibby isn't going to rotate over just yet, but that is... wow. I guess it's free farm. It's not the worst thing in the world for KRP here, but he did take a lot of damage there. Gonna have to tango his way back out. He actually could have body blocked himself, but Hey, it's some free last hits that takes him all the way up to 6. But TMCP, they are coming in. Barbarleo, he's way out of range of that telekinesis. There's the magic missile. They pick up one. Barbarleo, the back half of the static field, takes out another. Frosty Bear will be the third. 4-0 the lead for TMCP, and they're not going to get mopped up by these creeps. It would have to be the Queen of Pain mopping this up, and she doesn't feel safe enough. Live reruns cannot rotate over. Doesn't even have boots, and that's the tri-lane basically won for TMCP. They managed to secure it. They did, in the end, take advantage of the fact that ITN were so static, stuck in that area behind the Tier 1. On their way back, they get completely cleaned up. And Shibby, he picks up a kill in the middle as well. Sorry for missing that, but that's 5-0. Unstable Concoction thrown out, but it was after the salve was already used for Barbara. And he just feels control plasma fielding completely safely now. Shibby, now that he's gotten the kill in the mid, he may try to rotate over. He doesn't really have mana. He's going to rely on the 6-minute rune spawn up here before he can try to rotate. And honestly, not a lot of good news for ITN just now. There's really, Doze is farming okay. He's got his Soul Ring for sustain. He's level 5. But this Darkseer really can't do much of any rotation. He's only got rank 1 Vacuum, which is really not enough. And Doze, I don't know. I mean, Darkseer's doing okay, but he's not denying any farm for Forma Queen. 30, 29, 24, the top line of the last hits. Net worth already just dashing past where the Alchemist can be. And TMCP, I think they feel extremely comfortable with the way this game is going. Akala Boots of Speed, we'll have to see what Forma Queen uses this money for, but he's certainly farming well. And Barbara, just by participating in 4 kills, earning 3 of them directly, I mean, he's able to do very, very well. Yeah, Darkseer tries to... He's just vacking for a little bit of damage. Maybe a little bit of tower pressure. That actually might not be the worst thing in the world. Do a little bit of damage to Gyro. Put a little bit of pressure on the tower. Try to force people to come. And that's exactly what they're doing. MQV and Hackle shots. They're smoked up. They're going to try to rotate into the Darkseer. What they're going to have to do, in my opinion, is lead with Grave Chill. Maybe actually put down a... they're going to start with Homing Missile. Even though it's... Actually, they might not, because Gyro doesn't have any mana. But Doze is low enough that if they can force him to use his Surge and then respond, here comes the Magic Missile, they will land it, the call down will hit, earn the last hit for Forma Queen, and that's 6-0 is the lead at this point. Barbara, though, is in a bit of trouble. They respond to the... Oh, wow! Shibby with a huge Waning Rift. Doesn't have the mana to really do anything about this, but he does kill one. We actually lost the Queen of Pain. I think it's a disconnect. They're probably going to have to pause, but it's in the middle of a fight. What a phase shift! And the Dream Coil in response. The Dream Coil break will kill Rubik. KRP in trouble as well. They do finally pause because, you know, Queen of Pain is offline. It's just not what you want. Yeah, but nonetheless, this is going to be another cleanup. What an excellent phase shift timing from the Puck here. Completely stuffing the Unstable Concoction. Responding with the Waning Rift that ends up... Sorry, the Dream Coil that ends up killing the Rubik. KRP, I don't see any way of him getting out alive. I think Visage has... Yeah, Visage has the mana for another Soul Assumption. Only rank 2 because he chose to get Gravekeepers, but easily enough to kill a 97 HP Alk. And I don't want to say that's all she wrote, but it definitely puts TMCP up a tremendous amount. So Queen of Pain... No boots, not able to find farm. In the early phase, it seemed like he was okay, but after that kill, Shibby just took complete control. 35 for 3 on the Puck. I mean, leading to a pretty substantive lead. 14 for 1 on the Queen of Pain. When you're not even able to find boots, your ability to roam is actually quite constrained. You can see level 1 Blink, no boots. You move at 300 movement speed, you've got a 700 range Blink on a pretty long CD. There's just no way that you could actually keep up with what this Puck is able to do. And if he manages to get the last hit, actually they probably won't use... I think they will not use Soul Assumption. I think they will just use the Puck to bring down the Alchemist because they know that his Unstable Concoction is on CD. How much bounty is this guy worth? He doesn't really have any streak, but this will take Puck extremely close to his Blink. And this is a 8-minute Blink. 8-minute Blink for Puck versus a Queen of Pain who doesn't have boots. The map control that you exert just ends up being tremendous. You can kill Queen of Pain at your leisure. You can kill almost anybody on ITN at your leisure. And so, for ITN, the question becomes just how much control do you have to cede to put yourself in a safe enough position that you can farm somebody up. Because Alchemist has next to nothing. I mean, he's got Stout Shield. If I'm Alchemist, I actually buy out. I take... Tier 1 boots, you just buy brown boots. I see all his gold is unreliable because he's just been part of 1 assist, hasn't gotten any kills. Brown boots plus teleport scroll will actually use most of his money, and he's going to need the teleport scroll to get back to farm somewhere. So Most likely it's going to have to be him buying out, dying because he has no way of surviving this fight. And then maybe going mid? I'm just not sure anymore. I feel as though this top lane is no longer safe enough for Alchemist. In the mid, you at least have a little bit of better vision of incoming danger. And it's very easy for your players to reinforce from wherever they are to go to the mid. So you can sit back and maybe spray. You can play as if you were a mid Alchemist all along. Spray this, acid spray this general area. Just hope for the best from that. You still run the risk of being ganked by Puck, but no more so than you are at the top. And I just feel like the top is... This tower is soon to go down. Maybe he can farm back here near the tier 2, is the other option, of course. But nonetheless, it's a difficult situation for ITN in the sense that you needed to guarantee your Alchemist farm in a lineup like this, and it's an area where they really can't guarantee any farm for him right now. Especially since the Queen of Pain honestly needs to catch up as well. I would maybe consider putting the Queen of Pain up here, and then as soon as the first sign of trouble, just blink up into these trees and try to TP out. So, that's an option for them as well. Currently, kind of a moot point as live reruns is not even online. So I'll take a moment to drink some tea and refresh and try to figure out the situation as well. Alright, so we're going to get back on track with here. 8-1 the scoreline for TMCP. Puck does find the last hit on Alchemist. That takes him to within 200 gold of his Blink. I think if they either get a tower or they're able to... Oh, live reruns has come back in. He has this ultimate available. Catches Shibby. That's a critical kill for the Queen of Pain. Even with the death, even with Visage being able to pick that up, that was an absolutely tremendously important kill. And he does have the money to buy boots and a TP scroll now, so it actually is in much, much better shape now. It's so important for them to, even just a couple moments, even just 30 seconds of delay on that Puck blink is tremendously important for them. So, very good kill by ITN. It's good that they waited until Queen of Pain was able to get back into it. They managed to delay. For My Queen, of course, is farming up that gyrocopter at a very, very fast pace. They're starting to build up some phase boots. They want that ability to chase. They want that ability to catch. Phase boots on gyro, phase boots on Puck. What's the rest of the boot situation? Brown boots and nothing else on... Looks like Urn being built up on Vengeful Spirit, Brown Boots on Visage, but the ability to chase, the ability to catch out, especially Alchemist, but also Queen of Pain after her Blink, if it stays at rank 1 for a while, will actually be very, very excellent for the purposes of TMCP being able to take advantage of any sort of a good fight that they take. If they take a good part of the first half of the fight, and ITN start trying to flee with, you know, Surge, Blink, Chemical Rage, these phase boots will help them catch up. And phase boots, honestly, a pretty common pick for gyro in general. 50 for 19, the last hits for Gyrocopter. The best we can say for ITN is that they have 32 on Darkseer, only about 18 on the Alchemist. In all fairness, KRP has had an extremely difficult time finding the lane. Finally picks up his Chemical Rage. That'll be pretty important as a pickup. Level 6 Alchemist, level 4 and 3 Lina. To the both actually supports for TMCP do have their ultimates, so that'll give them a little bit more punch, more ability to generate fights. Lina, her damage is going to tail off tremendously if she doesn't find some levels. This is the downside of picking Lina and then not succeeding in your safe tri-lane, is that it's... Ooh, there's the swap. KRP in a lot of trouble. They'll chain this up with the Visage stuns. First stun comes through. There's the second stun. KRP will not find his unstable concoction. Hackleshots is sitting inside an acid spray, taking a lot of damage, but not before Lina goes down. Live reruns. They finally find the kill on Visage at least, but the Quap goes down. Skeptic will die on the Rubik as well. That's actually a triple kill picked up for Razor. Barbara Leo now at 6, 1, and 3, building towards Mechanism. And that's a Razor that's going to be almost unkillable. Didn't find that much of a static link there, but just the rank 4 plasma field already so effective for these team fights. And they could find a kill here and there, but otherwise ITN are really unable to generate that many opportunities. And the worrying thing for them is that this is all without the gyro. Once the gyro begins to participate, it's going to become more and more difficult for ITN to generate anything. Razor now the highest net worth target on the map. He has all of a mechanism if he wants to. He could finish that off very, very quickly. If they wanted pipe, they could just skip ahead to that as well. Might even be more effective than a mechanism would be in this situation. Stops damage from Queen of Pain, stops any sort of piddling Lina damage, and Rubik for that matter, and some of Darkseer. So could honestly be pretty good. Doze, meanwhile, we'll have to see what he builds. I have to assume that ITN are just going to rush mech on this Darkseer. Nobody else can possibly build it. In the mid, trouble for Alchemist once again. KRP chased to the tower. MQV, of course, taking quite a bit of tower damage, so he backs off. Safe spot for Alchemist. There's the unstable concoction. They're going to probably try to throw it out. It does not hit Chibi. He phase shifts out of it. Puck just able to dodge pretty much every single instance of that. Now reinforcing. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they sent the Alch mid. This is one of their most defensible positions, so it makes sense to put the Alchemist here. He can retreat to the safety of the tier 1 tower pretty easily. And Rubik and Quap currently helping him stay safe. Issue is, Quap has next to nothing. Only 1,500 net worth on this Queen of Pain. And here comes trouble again. Plasma field, the broken Dream Coil, the illusory orb comes through and deals the last damage. And even with the defensive position, as soon as the supports back off, TMCP rushes in, takes the tower, a tower and a kill for Puck. He's got phase boots. He will have blink off of that, almost certainly. He hasn't building the blink just yet, but I think almost certainly Puck picks up blink off of that kill and tower. And live reruns, he's just forced to play much, much more passively than you would expect from a Queen of Pain. It's so troublesome to be stuck at this sort of no man's land for Queen of Pain, where you really can't jump in and do much damage. If you jump in, you really can't jump out. You just die after you pick up maybe one kill. And yeah, there's the blink. There's the swap. KRP in trouble again. Silenced already from the Waning Rift, and Alchemist down. 16-3 now the scoreline, and please gank Shibi, or I should say TMCP, looking every bit like the front runners that some people assume they might be. They are rolling through. For My Queen has not participated in basically anything. Only a gank that they basically gave him by sending Vengeful Spirit down. And there it goes again! The jump in from Puck, the Waiting Rift in the orb, Lina down already, Darkseer in trouble, 3 dead, easy at this point. Just no problem for them just to snowball completely out of control. Shadowblade coming up for Gyrocopter. Once he joins these fights, that could be the death blow. That could just be the Executioner's swing to take ITN completely out, send them down into the loser's bracket. At this point, I just honestly don't see them being able to muster up much of a defense. I accidentally switched to the fantasy points indicator for a second there. No fantasy points earned by anybody in this game, unfortunately. But TMCP barreling down the tier 1 bot, just using call down for wave clear. Fortification used, maybe Kitties could try to make a defense here. I honestly don't think so. The tower will go down. That's another tower kill by Puck. Oh man, what a Dream Coil. Jumps in, no mana for Waning Rift. He's brought up and down by the Rubik, but 2 stuns coming through from Visage Familiar is enough to secure something. Razor goes down to the Queen of Pain ultimate. Shibi and Visage, meanwhile, picking up a little bit more. There's the resummon on the Visage Familiars, and that gives them enough damage to trade Alchemist for Visage. Puck somehow makes it out alive, and that's, I think, 4 or maybe even 5 for 2, and that's the GG. TMCP advances to Winners Bracket Round 3. ITN sent down to Losers Bracket Round 2. Unfortunately, they just kind of, I have to say, got outplayed. The tri-lane didn't go well. The solo lanes didn't go as well as they could have. Queen of Pain wasn't able to generate opportunities, and everybody on TMCP just really executing their positioning and their abilities extremely effectively. This is the Steel Series Chicago Dota 2 Open. It's held at the Ignite Gaming Center LAN, and you can check out I do have information coming up on the stream in just a second about that. Sponsors are Steel Series, Dust Off, Ignite, Merlini Dota. There will be a Merlini 1v1 solo mid challenge. That'll be tomorrow in the middle of the series. Today we're going to eliminate 10 teams, so we'll go down from 16 to 6. 6 teams will go into day 2 tomorrow, and we just saw what could be one of them. Kitties will have to sharpen their tools, sharpen their claws, actually, if I'm going to go with that pun, if they want to make it to day 2. But TMCP so far looking quite strong. We'll have to keep an eye out for them in future rounds. Thanks for watching, folks. I'm Vikramond. I'll be casting basically the entire event. I know some people have requested other teams to be shown. I'll try to hit as many teams as I can, but unfortunately can't hit everybody because there will be games run concurrently. Otherwise, this event would take somewhere around forever. Thanks for watching so far. We will head into Losers Bracket Round 2 play in just a few minutes. Actually, since this game went so fast, we'll have to see when the games start. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and we will see you in just a moment.